Shalom Aleichem, Morai Rabbotai, Shalom Aleichem, Be'ezrat Hashem, in the merit of Tzaddik Rabbi Pinto, in the merit of my grandfather, Rabbi Moshe Pinto, my Kadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, give everyone, give big bracha v'tzlacha, b'siyata d'shmaya gdola, Malkei Da'almu, v'chit kol v'yizaket kol, my Kadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, open the gates of Parasha, Yeshua, and Zivug, and Parasha, and may Kadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, spend everyone's shefat b'lidei, may he hear all our prayers, may he fulfill all our heart's wishes, amen. You know, this Shabbat, there's something that's written in the Parasha, that is something that is very interesting, that the entire Shabbat, it got us thinking for a question, but also we can learn something beautiful that we could apply in our day-to-day lives. It says Rabotai in this week's Parasha, last week's Parasha, Parasha Bechukotai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes conditions with Bnei Israel, where if we walk in his path and if we do his mitzvot, Baruch Hashem will be blessed with all those barachot. And if Chas v'Shalom, we don't go in that path, then there is consequences to everything. But there, in the Torah, it says that after one goes in the path of Torah and the path of mitzvot, the Torah uses the word V'paniti alechem. Now, what is the translation of Paniti alechem? Rashi explains, Paniti alechem, I will make myself available to you, to serve you, and to bless you. Now, you know, Abotai asked the question, something that doesn't make sense, of how can we say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will make himself available to us? We know that the concept of availability only applies because of the fact of the matter is that we live in a world that there is time, that there is a certain limitation in capacity to what we can do at one moment, that now Rabbi Avraham cannot go and do 10 things at once. We are human, we have a limit. Time constrains us. Our capability of our mind constrains us. So on us, it's applicable to say that we need to make ourselves available to bless someone, to help someone. But how can we say that for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's this concept that he needs to make himself available for us? We know about that it says that in every single moment, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives constant life to every single creation. Meaning that the fact that a tree is alive, it means that every single leaf is growing. The fact that every single leaf is growing, it means that Hashem is giving every single leaf on its own level life. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu can give life to billions and trillions of different forms of life, but he needs to make himself available to us. It's something that doesn't make sense. So in order to understand this, we have to understand a fundamental teaching in the Zohar HaKadosh that explains the builds of the worlds. So the Zohar HaKadosh teaches us the concept that there are 4 worlds that exist, which we call Olamot Yabia. What is Yabia? Atzilut, Beria, Yetzira, Asiya. Now these 4 worlds are complete separate worlds. They're based one on top of the other, Atzilut being the highest one, and Asiya being the one that we are in this world. Now we are on the physical perspective, because we know the 4th world, Asiya, broke to 2 pieces, physical being this world, and spiritual being the world that is above. And Be'ezrat Hashem, AT RABBI MOSHE, at the time of the Geulah, the other perspective, the spiritual perspective, will come down. Now, each one of these 4 worlds are completely separate worlds. What does that mean? It means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world in a very, very unique way, where each one sustains itself, and not every single creation within those worlds can just hop into the other. That every single world has its own ecosystem, every single world has its own types of angels, its own types of creations, and they don't mix necessarily. And it's unique. Each one is unique. Now, being unique, each one has its own reality, and each one cannot see and understand what the other world endures or what the other world experiences. Meaning that the same way that we cannot feel what it is like to be in a place time doesn't exist, because up there in the spiritual world, time doesn't exist. Or we don't understand the way that a physical body, a spiritual body that has no limitation exists. In that same very way, every single world is divided. We don't see and we don't understand what exists in the world above us, and they also cannot see and feel what it is to be in our world. Now, there are some exceptions for some very powerful angels and some very exclusive angels that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them that power to jump between worlds. And there are some other angels that their job is to exist in this world and to monitor what exists in this world. So each one, it's unique. But for the most part, angels that are in the world, Atzilut, or in the world of Yetzirah, or in the world of Beriah, don't necessarily see and feel and cannot come down to our set of mind the same way we cannot go up to their level. They said that, and we can see this in many different places throughout the Zohar HaKadosh, which explains to us how there were arguments between angels and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, just from the fact of the matter that they don't understand us the same way we can't understand them. And the best example that we can possibly give is Azai and Azael. What is Azai and Azael? Azai and Azael were two angels that before the creation of the world, they argued with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Where they said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're going to create a world of material that's going to sin. So why are you even creating a material world when you know that there will be a chance that they will sin? So he said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he was upset at them. He said, because how can you talk about people like that? You degrade material creation the way you are degrading it when you don't know what it is to be man. And as we know, man has a lot more temptations, a lot of more yetzirah, evil inclination that pulls them more of a fight to do the right choice than you angels have. So how can you talk about man when you don't know what it is to be in man's position? So we see truly those other creations are not able to understand what it is like to be in our place. The same way we're not able to see what it is in their place. Like we said, there are exceptions. There are the 7 eyes of Hashem, we call them Ene Hashem, where there are 7 angels, they come down to the world to see the world and to record the world for the other angels that are above. So we truly see that there is divide. The Zohar HaKadosh says that after Malachei Sharet, the angels of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, lost the fight against Moshe Rabbeinu, and they lost the fight, as we know what we brought in Neilulav Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that they lost the fight against Moshe and the Neshama of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, where the Torah was brought down to the world. It says that after they lost, they saw that HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't just send down the Torah, he was sending down something more than the Torah. What was he sending down? He was sending down the Shekhinah, which, as we know, the Shekhinah is like the wife of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the angels, they came to Hashem and they said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you already gave them the Torah. Why are you giving them the Shekhinah? Why are you giving them something that has nothing to do with their world? It's more than what you have to be doing. So it says in Zohar HaKadosh something that is beautiful. The Zohar HaKadosh says something simple. HaKadosh Baruch Hu answered those Malachei Sharet and those angels. He said, how can you expect me to not give Bnei Israel the Shekhinah when down there men are fighting such a strong fight against their evil inclination, against their own nature, where men are not even able to see, they're not even privileged to see the simple reality of the world that they exist in. Where instead of having the ability to chase after the Torah and mitzvot, they need to chase after their Parasha, to sustain their own body. Something that you angels don't have. Angels don't need to go work to be able to sustain themselves. They eat from the Ziva Shekhinah. They absorb the light of the Shekhinah, and that's how they live. That's their energy. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, look at men chasing after stones that they see valuable, chasing after paper that they see valuable, chasing after all these shtuyot just to be able to survive, and you expect me to not help them? So it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told those angels, he said, after all what men do to fight just to survive, and some of them succeed to be able to give back to me even though they have all that fight, who needs the help from the Shekhinah? You or them? So it said that the angels, all the angels agreed. They said, now that you explain to us what men go to just to be able to keep the simple Torah and mitzvot, we agree that who deserves the Shekhinah, who needs the Shekhinah more than us? Man. And that's how HaKadosh Baruch Hu explained to Malachei Sharet, to the angels, that man need the help more than they do. So the Zohar HaKadosh actually explained something that is incredible, that it shows us how amazing it is when a person gets up and is able to win his evil inclination, able to win whatever it is, to put some time aside, to learn some Torah, to do a mitzvah, how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu appreciates it. The Zohar HaKadosh says that whenever a person does a tefillah, and whenever a person, even the opposite of a prayer, sits 1 second quiet, meaning it's not even a matter of getting up and doing something. Sometimes it's not doing anything. Because the fact that you're not doing something, it means that you won your evil inclination from talking Lashon Hara. Or you won your evil inclination from going and doing something which is not allowed. So even a moment of a mitzvah or a moment of not doing anything, the Zohar HaKadosh says, when Hashem sees that you succeeded to win your evil inclination, do something good, or not do any bad, HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts all the angels aside in order to accept that moment of silence or that mitzvah, in order to show that, to bring that prayer above and to appreciate all what man struggled in order to bring that forward. And that is something that is incredible. That's what the Zohar HaKadosh says, that every single prayer that a man does, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends up the tefillah. There's an angel, Ta'ariel, takes it, gives it to the malach Bazak. Bazak takes it to the angel, Saldefon. Saldefon makes those prayers or that mitzvot into a crown, and then that crown gets put on the head of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We see, Rabotai, what is that concept? And it explains that sentence in the Torah, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes himself available to us. What does it mean? He makes himself available to us. When we take the moment to make ourselves available for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu appreciates and he feels and he sees all what we go through in order to do even the smallest mitzvah. And as return, he'll put aside all the angels, he'll put aside all what he's doing in the world in order to greet and to accept even the smallest good deed that we bring forward to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that is why, Rabbi, it's so important, and we have to give ourselves even a measurement of value to our time, to our mitzvot. And it's that we cannot just look at every mitzvah like it's just a mitzvah. We have to look at it really for what it is. And what it is one of the most prized possessions that HaKadosh Baruch Hu holds. And if we start to look at mitzvot and good deeds, or even sometimes just sitting down and not saying anything bad, hearing something that is not good and getting up and walking away, someone coming and embarrassing you and not answering and not attacking back, even the smallest thing like that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he takes it and we cannot even imagine the same way those angels were not able to imagine what we go through. We cannot even imagine the happiness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he endures when we leave our nature, our material, our desires, our evil inclination, our bad thoughts, our sadness, our whatever it is, and we come forward to him. We cannot even imagine the happiness that happens there in Shamayim for any good deed. So B'ezrat Hashem, Rabotay, let's get up, let's do something good, let's do a mitzvah, let's make ourselves available for 10 minutes, for 20 minutes, for a limud Torah, for a shiur, for a perk of Tehillim, for a page of Zohar, for a page of Gemara, for an extra halacha. Rabotay, if we make ourselves available with the smallest effort possible towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will make himself available to accept those prayers, and B'ezrat Hashem, he will be able, maybe in merit of all tzaddikim, grant us some reward for making ourselves available. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu Hashem give everyone big bracha v'tzlacha, b'siyata d'shmai gdola, may the gates of all the prayers be open, and may all our hearts wishes be fulfilled. Amen. Ken Yiratzon B'ezrat Hashem.